Hey guys, it's Kix here. Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be playing the solo victory cup, hopefully I qual, and I'm going to show y'all some tips and tricks. Now let's get into it. So in this video, I'll be trying to qual for my first victory cup finals. I know, I barely ever play the solo victory cups. I should have qualified for one by now. But let's get into how I qualified for the solo victory cup. And let's get into the fights, the strategies, and everything else behind the wheel. Let's get into it. So, in this clip, I decided to land at the place right beside Doom's Courts, which was my old classy spot that was right in front of Lavish there. Yeah, we would always rotate to Lavish there too. But this season, that's not there. So, I don't know why I decided to land here, because I don't know it at all. But, yeah, that wasn't very smart to me, now I'm looking back at it. But, let's get into my first fight of the game once I get looted up. In this clip, I have very beginner loots. It's very off-spawn loot. But I decided I'm going to fight this kid because he just got the Doom test. So I know I'm going to get some good loot off of it. And looking back at it, it was a pretty smart fight, but I missed my first shot. I could have finished that fight so much quicker with so much more health if I would have hit that first shot. But now this second kid pulls up third parties, obviously. But I missed my first, second, and third shot and ended up dying to him. So I need to work on my aim a little bit, obviously. But now, let's get into the game too. In this clip, I decided to drop my main drop where I always drop in ranked, and I always do good with it. Because usually there's a forecast tower right in front of it, and there's 5 to 6 chests in the bottom, and then 3 chests at the top. Now let's get into what loot I got off spawn after I looted up this area. Once I loot up that top and bottom area, I tend to go up to Grand Glacier or I'll go to the forecast tower. It depends on if the forecast tower spawns or not. But in this fight, I took a pretty smart play right here. And missed that first shot, that's always that first shot. That first shot's always the most important. I need to start hitting those. But look, I ended the fight pretty quick. Got in, got out, and almost pieced him up and put him in the Taj. Now let's get into the second fight of this game. In the second fight of this game, I usually rotate either back or to the house that's across the map. Or not across the map, but like beside the river. And I ended up getting this kid down and dirty with that first pump. Like I told y'all, the first pump is always the most important with this gold shotgun. So I hit him for 140 and then I hit him for just like a little bit and then he dies. So let's get into the third fight of this game. This is the house that I was talking about that I usually rotate to after I get a couple of kills in off spawn. And as you can see, there's a kid right there inside of the house that I end up not seeing, and he could have killed me right there, but he didn't somehow. And I ended up seeing him when I turn around, so I ended up killing him eventually. Once I almost get this pre-piece in, but let's see how I end this fight. Let's get to the fourth fight of this game, which was a pretty good fight. Now let's get into it. So I end up hearing this dude inside of the bunker, but I see this dude ending up trying to third party, and I hit him with a boom bam bop, and he ends up dying just like that to the easiest kill ever in the solo victory cup, dude. Let's be honest. Now, unfortunately, I end up dying to the kid that's inside of the bunker. So let's get into that fight and let's see what I did wrong to die to this kid. So me personally, I don't even think I should have took this fight. I think I should have gotten out of zone. But I ended up swinging a second time, which I probably shouldn't have done. I probably should have hit once and then reset. But after this point, I thought my tournament was over. 15 points in 2 games is usually horrible for the average person. But I'm not the average person. So let's get into my last couple games. So I figured I had to pop off in my next couple games to make sure I qualify. So I ended up hot dropping off spawn onto this hill with multiple chests. And I had to get the last couple of kills so, you know, I could get the qualification to the second round. Now let's get into how I did that versus these kids, because I honestly think it was really clutch on how I did it. So So there's the first kill, which honestly, a scroll wheel pickup helps so much right there. That's why y'all should use scroll wheel pickup for one of your scroll wheels. Because you can get everything in a chest when a person gets nothing. Now I know there's a person up there, but I need to go for these chests to end up killing them. Because the gun that I get out of these chests are crucial to me when I'm against this person. And that's the second kill of the game. Pretty easy off spawn. A couple kills, you know, pretty easy off spawn. But that was crucial to me qualling. Now let's get into my next couple fights. So let's get into that third kill. Let's get into it. So I ended up catching this kid up really clueless. Like, this kid was absolutely horrible for a Victory Cup player. And just look how he plays. He plays really scared after I tag him a couple times. And look, it's just a boom bam bop and he's dead. But this guy makes one crucial mistake right here playing against me. He ends up just trying to pop a medkit instead of boxing up and with almond walls. And he ends up not placing anything right there and just giving me the free kill. Now let's get into the next fight of the game, which might be my demise. So this kill didn't require much skill. I was just sitting there in a cone because it was in-game with 11 people left on 7th zone, which is honestly a pretty stacked in-game, but not too stacked. But I was just looking for a couple of beams for a good refresh, and I ended up hearing that kid get cracked, and I just hit him with the burst. And then look, this kid doesn't get all the mats, so I end up, that helps me in a couple seconds when zone comes in. Those mats off of that player was crucial to this rotate right here. So I ended up breaking in and getting all the mats, and I also got a couple medkits off of it. And I ended up getting this fizz. That fizz helps so much in-game, if I'm being completely honest, because you get that sprint effect where you can just run around and rotate. But honestly, I had a broom, so I thought I was set, so I just booked it to the top of zone, so I could be the first player to rotate without anybody looking at me. So this fight was pretty dumb of me, but I tried it. I really tried to fight this kid because I really needed a refresh because I only had 4 builds. So I knock him down. I missed my shot. I need to really work on my aim in the competitive side of the game. And I try and knock him down again, but I realize that he has that wall, and I'm not high enough HP, and zone's coming. So I ended up rotating, and I get pretty beamed out the air, and I end up going into zone. Was part of my demise, and I get sprayed up by this person. And this right here is where I die. Pretty sad, because I don't have any mats. I have nothing. And I try to fight this kid, but I missed my shot. And yeah, I missed my shot, and then that's how I do hit. Pretty sad. But let's get into the third game of the Victory Cup. Let's get into it. Alright, so the third game, I just got placement and I didn't get any kills, so I'm not going to include that in this video. I'm not going to bore y'all. But let's get into the fourth game. So in this game, I decided to draw my second main spot that I go to, which is on this hill, and let's just say I bailed out and I went to Bigfoot's cave, or that's what we like to call it. Now let's get into the fights and the drop. So I ended up dropping Bigfoot's cave, which is a good spot for, you know, it's a bunch of loot, it's uncontested most of the time, and you get a ton of brick and a ton of wood out of it. So let's get into the first fight of this game after I get looted up. that was the first fight of the game. I don't even know if you can call that a fight, but I beamed that kid, and he had nothing. So, he was a little bit of a late drop. But let's get into the next fight of the game after I get looted up. So, this was a stacked in-game with 26 people left in the 8th zone, and I end up trying to look for a refresh because I only have 2 builds left, and I see this dude that I hit for 100. And I end up just boxing up on this because I see another kid, and I end up hopping in his box and getting this kill right here for the good refresh that gives me all the mats that I need for the rest of the game. As you can see, once I pick up all these mats, I have absolutely crazy mats. I have half max at least everything, and I'm just ready for in-game. So in this part, I have to end up rotating because zone's pulling with 21 people left on the 9th zone. Now let's get into the next skill of the in-game. After this kill, I had an absolutely crazy refresh with all the mats and all the heals that I could ever need, and all the rotation I could ever need. And I'm gonna just let y'all watch the rest of this in-game and see how it played out. Going into game 5, I was pretty confident. I was probably playing a little bit too cocky, and I was probably just like rushing too many people because I knew that I was going to qualify because I had 97 points. Now at this point in the game, I didn't realize how I should be playing versus how I like could have played in this game. But just I played really bad in this game, and I'll let y'all show by the kill that I got and then also how I died. So let's get into this fight. Now let's get into it. After that fight, I ended up playing pretty bad, and I ended up pushing up to the launch pad that was on the hill behind the location that I was at. And yeah, I ended up running out of mats and dying. So watch the fight, and I could have done much better in this fight. Let's get into it. This is my last game of the Victory Cup. I had to clutch the qual because I needed to get 20 to 17 points in one game just to get to round 2. Now let's get into all the fights and the in-game that I made it to in this game to qual. So this fight got a little bit messy, but we made it out in the end, and I did not kill him, but he ended up dipping, which honestly saved my call, because he would have killed me, and I was only at 104 points, which I wouldn't have called with. Now, let's get into what this fight looks like, and what I could have done better. In this fight, I was a little bit more lucky, and I got the beam off, and he didn't realize that I was up at the top. And I ended up getting this kill, which helped me get to the 108 points, which was very close to qualifying. And yeah, let's just get into the rest of the end game. As you notice, we have Storm Surge because there's 33 people in 9th zone, and I end up being 570 damage above Storm Surge at the end of it. And let's get into the rest of this end game to where I get enough points to qualify for finals. So as you can see from these screenshots, I ended up qualifying out for finals, but I sadly
Hey guys,
didn't
it's
get any
Kix here.
earnings.
Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be playing the solo victory
all the way
cup,
to the
whole
end.
flag qual.
Watch the
And I'm
next
going to show
video
you
all the
all
way to
some
the
tips
end.
and tricks.
Get on the
Now
next
let's get
live
into
stream.
it.